Alright, welcome back to Honest Deck Reviews. We have a new one, the Greasefang. I saw another creator, Power Dragon. I'm sure most of you know that. I saw him put out a Greasefang deck. And as a huge Greasefang deck, I love Greasefang. It's my favorite card in all of Magic. But when I saw his deck that he had, I think it was very misleading. It's not a good Greasefang deck at all. So it made me want to showcase actual Greasefang, how he is and how he can be a very strong deck without making him the sole focus of the deck itself. I use this deck all the time to go to Mythic, so, or at least when I remember to go to Mythic. Most of the time I fucking forget, but this is my go-to deck for it, and it pretty much easily runs up the ranks, but nobody uses it. And I'm sure, you know, as he himself is a much larger creator and I'm just a baby creator, really, nobody's going to see this and it's not going to get out there, and eventually somebody's just going to take it and use it for themselves, and that's fine, whatever. But just remember, Greasefang's here. But before I start going over this deck, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's a small act for you, but it's a huge deal for me. It's greatly appreciated and can help me get my decks and voice out there to compete with some of these other players, as everybody plays very differently. Like, this is no shade to anybody. Like, I don't want people to think that there's some kind of shade towards Power Dragon. Absolutely not. Great guy. But I think there's just different ways that everybody plays. And I wanted to put out a Greasefang deck that is comparable to what he had put out, using different colors that I think are much better. And the reason for that is I don't like to use the red. I prefer the blue. And the reason I prefer the blue is for Raffine. Now, it having the Connive ability helps you dig through your deck super fast, so you can get all your vehicles in the graveyard immediately. And also, what I noticed he did not use is the Thundersteel Colossus, and as you'll see in the games that we played, this thing just wins it. None of the little pirate shit bullshits. No, we don't need that. That's too slow and doesn't matter at all. Other ones that we use is a Surge Hacker Mech. He's pretty good for doing damage with, a lot of vehicles and stuff out when he comes out, but that's not really the point of him. He's better as a 5/5 menace. That's why I prefer him. But I also like the Rib Skiff. I don't care that it's toxic. I care that it lets me draw a card, and it's very effective. And keep in mind, none of these vehicles, doesn't matter how much they cost to put out, you're not going to play them for their value. You're going to use Greasefang to get them back, because at the beginning of your combat of your turn, you can return a vehicle from your graveyard to the battlefield with haste, and it goes to your hand at the beginning of your next end step. Now when it gets there, all you have to do is, there's what Raffine's for discarding with the Connive. The Fleeting Spirit is the MVP of the deck. Just to exile him, you can discard a card, and then this Fleeting Spirit will come back. And it's funny watching, like, so many people spend, 4 or 5 different kill spells on it trying to get rid of it, but they never do. Another one is Guardian of Nubenalia, as you can discard a card to give it indestructible until end of turn, which is pretty cool. We only run one because the Fleeting Spirits and Raffine's Informants do everything much better, but if you do manage to get this out with its enlist ability, it can get pretty powerful. But we'll also be using the Bitter Triumph, so that way we can discard a card to destroy a target creature or planeswalker, so we can control that up. Another one that I noticed wasn't used, but I use, is Can't Stay Away. This is a really good card for all of our creatures, because all of our creatures are 3 or less, and you can get them back from the battlefield. And the card has flashback, so you can do it multiple times, which is why we only run 2. Another way is the Collector's Vault. Pay 2, tap it, draw a card, discard, and create a treasure token. All of that's good because you want to discard the vehicles into the graveyard and drawing a card nobody will ever complain about. And creating a treasure token is fantastic. Lastly, this is just a personal choice, the Mecha Titan Core. I only run one, mainly because I love that picture for him. It's really cool. And early 2-4, to be able to play this guy out, but have like a 2-4 blocker early is really nice. But if you get caught up in like a mid or late game, with Collector's Vault building all those treasures, you can go ahead and exile the core and 4 of those treasures and turn it into the Mecha Titan, 10-10 Flying, Vigilant, Trample, Lifelink, Haste. It is just a tiny win con. Don't expect to pop it off every single game. It's more of those just 1 in a mil chance. Do you have to run it? Absolutely not. Again, it's just a personal choice. I like the card. And to build up bodies and cause another threat, we use Adeline. When you're dropping things like Adeline, sometimes people forget about Greasefang. Or if you have Rafiends out, they just target these. I don't understand why, but it is what it is. But when you start building all those human creatures, and you do manage to, you know, have multiple vehicles out, like the Rib Skiff, the Mech, probably not this, because you don't want to ever play this, you just want to keep pulling it back with Greasefang here. You can crew many more vehicles. Does it matter? No, absolutely not. But it is an option, and moreover, it's just a threat to eat up their kill spells to save Greasefang, because if they don't, Adeline becomes a huge threat, and you might end up winning with just Adeline. And lastly, we're going to use Wandering Emperor. She's very versatile, but we use her for everything. To be able to exile a big creature that they're attacking with to get life is great. A Samurai token is amazing, and her 1/1 counter for Strike is just brutal, especially when you give it, you know, to Thundersteel Colossus. Make it at 8/8, Trample, Haste. Now, it won't keep the counter because the Greasefang will return it to your hand when you do that, but that's not what it really matters. And there's loads and loads of dual lands, as you can see here. But that's the deck. It is my hands down favorite deck in all of Magic, so I'm very excited to share this one again. I have a couple of older Greasefang decks before certain sets came out. If you want to check those out, go ahead and find them. They're really good too. This is more an upgraded version with Collector's Vaults and the Bitter Triumphs. I think they're really good, and they add a lot to this deck. Actually make it better, because normally we would probably run Go for the Throats and things like that, but this giving us the ability to discard and get rid of a creature planeswalker is amazing. And the Collector's Vault's really good too. It gives me the actual option to use the Mecha Titan Core, but again, not necessary. Alright, that is the deck. I'm going to go ahead, shut the hell up. Let's throw down some cards. Alright, Decimage? I guess that's what it is. 2 pain lands. That kind of sucks, but we keep it. I can do the new Benalia. I think that'll be better than the core to start with. But drawing our 3rd land would be very important as well, so let's hope that. Are we up against Boros, or is this going to be a 3-color as well? Probably just Boros, but we'll see. I think we'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening. I guess they fell asleep, or they just trying to rope, or they just got a bad hand. Want to waste everybody's time. Don't know. Not a land. Fuck. Well, that sucks. Really bad. Okay, well, we'll take care of his little token there. That's fine. Yeah, he has 3 colors. I had a feeling. Ooh, Rocco's pretty good. Okay. Then we'll power that up. We'll swing in. The collector vault's gonna be nice though. Doesn't matter if he kills it, we've got a can't stay away. I mean, if he exiles it, that'll be an issue, but it's alright. Get a second white source, we can drop the Adeline. Right. Okay. Shipwreck Marsh. Get rid of Rocco. Get our Surge in the graveyard. And we'll swing it. And we still have that Bitter Triumph. So if he does play something, we can take care of it. As well as get the Surge Hacker mech into the graveyard. Oh, I think he's just conceded at this point. Yeah. Okay. Game 1, pretty good. Okay. Arcanus. Okay, hands. Okay. Could be better. Like I said, always could be better. But unfortunately, it is not. Let's go ahead and get the kill spell ready. You know, Mono Black's got 1,000 of them. Okay, what we don't need is mech at the moment, but a Graveyard Trespasser could really be bad for us. And we still didn't get a second white sword. It's pretty cute. Alright, still no pain. I'm sure he'll remove the Rafine as well. Boring? I don't think you could. Why do people stop playing Magic? Because of this shit. Alright, turn 4 shoulders. Let's see what you got. Another. Oh, I don't know if that's not wise. That is not wise. Okay. Let's just go ahead and swing with the Adeline before he dies. But we do have the Bitter Triumph up, just in case he does drop a Shieldred. Or worst case, Graveyard Trespasser. Okay, followed by another land. Let's go ahead and see if we can get something worth a shit now. Followed by another land. So we'll just swing in again. Okay, we're gonna hold up the Wandering Emperor, of course.
I'm home. I have got new.
We're gonna give him something scary to have to block. And of course we drew a land. Why would we have not drawn a land? Then a million in a row. Followed by another fucking land. Wow, gee. But we will grab the win. Shuffler tried to fuck us, but yet we came out on top. Alright, game 3. It's going to be against Gobi 43. Ooh, 2 tap lands. Jesus Christ. Let's hope for the best. They get a mech hanger, that's something. We'll toss one of the Emperors. Could be a mistake. I don't know. Go ahead, you can burn it. Oh, Questing Druid. Okay, here's the Pia deck. Pretty cool. Oh, I wonder which version of it you're actually gonna be. Okay, well. Now we'll drop Adeline again. Swing in. Start getting some dude mans built up. And next turn we can drop Rafine, which will be awesome. But to be honest, I'm probably better off bitter triumphing their Pia. Which now I'm going to do. Let's swing in. He might have another in hand, and that's totally fine. But we gotta get this Rafine down. Alright, so what's here? Okay, it's the same thing. Alright, I got you, I got you. Alright. Go ahead, get the big bad Rafine down. Drop. Nonsense. Okay, doesn't block. That's a little weird, but hey, do you. We don't have a vehicle yet. We haven't drawn any of like the 15 in our deck, so there is that. That's okay. Maybe with the Rafine we can get lucky. We can get rid of the land. We don't need the land either. Kind of half expecting a wandering. Ooh. Okay. We will hold up our Emperor in case something gnarly comes through. He is fighting hard. So we'll go ahead and make a blocker for him.
That may your blade strike true.
That is what we were looking for.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Let's go ahead and crew that up. And it didn't even block. Okay. Third game in. Pretty smooth. Okay, Ashunera, our fourth opponent. That cool children. Our opponent does go first. We're really doing mono black again. Okay. Go ahead and do a Rafine performance, get a draw. Maybe we can get something pretty decent. We don't. How many bit of triumphs? Okay. But the shuffler's trying hard to fuck us. Trying real hard. Hey, Phyrexians. Okay. Well, let's just block it. Even if he has something to save it, I don't really care. I really want to take the damage. Perhaps he did not mean to do that. Let's get our fleeting spirit out there. Probably should have played the Dark-Arc Waste instead of the Shipwreck, but it is what it is. Making ways to fake your own death. Let's go ahead and get rid of the butcher.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelming.
Unless there's something he can do about it, I'm not sure.
I am almost sad to see you go.
Okay. So, let's have the fleeting spirit carry us to victory. Okay, so we'll start building up counters on her.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Do a little bit of damage with the fleeting spirit. We will hold Swamp in hand to discard. Fleeting spirit agitates enough to get us the 4th victory. Alright, let's jump into the final match. Okay. Compipa is our final opponent. Very weird. Right. Oh my god, can we see any variety of decks for fuck's sake? Super fucking boring. Super fucking boring. This is fucking mono red. What in the fuck is happening here, dude? Fucking yawn, bro. Oh, another Rocco. Okay. Same shit. Same shit. Fucking yawn. I'd put it on the Feldon, but we say our own. Alright, let's start getting our own little damage in. But with the Fleeting Spirit, we got a great blocker for Feldon now. Okay, Pia and Alar, nothing new. Already saw this deck already today. Go ahead and get our big Mamma Jamma out. And then we just wait. Okay, Experimental Synthesizer's a pretty cool card too. I should give him a Thopter. Because I don't remember if he played a land, I don't think he did. And that would be GG's, man. Yep. Love me some Greasefang. Definitely my favorite deck in all of Magic. Greasefang done right. Alright. As you've seen from the games, we went 5-0 with this deck. Honestly, I'm not surprised. I play this deck all the time. It's just something different. I mean, we all see the same, 4 or 5 decks, and it's just super fucking annoying, but I guess I want to be something different. So I still play Greasefang. That's right. I love Greasefang. But we need to review the deck. I really, really like it. I think it's amazing. But I'm also very biased. Anything with Greasefang is awesome to me. And the reason I wanted to actually do this was Power Dragon's Greasefang deck that he showcased. I wasn't very happy with it, and I think it was too slow and it needed a lot of work. And adding the red to the deck, I don't feel is very good. And taking out things like Thundersteel Colossus is a huge mistake. But if you watch the games, then you'll know why. But we have to review the deck on our 3 variables. One is how the deck plays. Is it easy to play? I think it is easy to play simply because I've been playing this deck for a long time. I've been upgrading it with each new set and things like that, so I have a lot of experience with it. But if we put it into a newer player's hands, I think it would be kind of interesting, because utilizing the Fleeting Spirit, this bad boy right here, is super important in this deck. In any Greasefang deck, I believe he is super important, knowing when to discard and exile him. So everything else, though, I think is fairly straightforward and simple. Maybe the Mecha Titan core might throw people off, but again, I like this card. You don't have to use it. You can put something else there. You can put another Adeline, another Rafine Informant, or whatever. I just like the card. That card art is super cool, so he's in my deck. Okay, so I would say it is fairly easy to play and understand. Especially as Greasefangs, you don't really have to think about triggers in Arena. You just have to think about timing of when to do it. But now we move on to, is the deck fun to play? And again, I'm pretty biased. I absolutely love this deck. It is super fun to play. But if you're one of those people that is stuck with, I have to play the fucking meta decks, the same 4 bullshit. If you're one of those people, then you probably won't have fun playing it because, you need those brain dead boring decks that nobody likes. And that's, that's a you thing, not a me thing. But I think for the average Magic player or people that are just interested in trying something different, you'll love this deck. It's really fun. And there's so many different ways to win con that it's hard to trip this deck up. And lastly, we have to grade it on its effectiveness. Now, I went 5-0 with it, so pretty effective. And I've used it a few times to get to Mythic Ladder. It's pretty much the only deck I use to go up in the ranks with. So I would say it's very effective. Now, when it comes to grading this, my heart tells me, very biased, we have to give it a 10 out of 10. Because I love Greasefang. Greasefang is the best. So unofficially, we'll give it a 10 out of 10. But let's look at it realistically. I think that it cannot be a perfect 10 out of 10 simply because it requires too much in understanding when to play the Fleeting Spirit and how to use the Greasefang. Because when you start discarding a bunch of these guys, you might get a little confused on what to go because your first instinct is like, oh, let's do some damage. But you never know when drawing a card can become much more valuable, or if you need to get a creature out of the way. But that's usually what Bitter Triumph's for. So I think there's a little bit to it. So when I have to give this a final grade, I think it's going to be fair when I say I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It is just it's fun, it's easy, and it's very effective. I really like this deck, and I wish that I could get this out there to more people, but being a small channel, nobody really cares, and let's be honest, I don't think a single one of you is even watching this far. Just talking to myself, and that's okay. But one day, I will get Greasefang back on the meta list to where I'll be so sick of seeing fucking Greasefang, I'll just lose my shit. I love Greasefang though, I do. It is my favorite card, and it is my favorite deck build. But I think it is fair for the 9 out of 10. Very simple, very easy. So, if you're interested in trying something new and different, give it a shot. And go ahead, maybe share this deck with other people so we can start getting some more decks up there in the meta and stop seeing the same boring shit. Because honestly, this game's just starting to become a drag to play. It's just so, I load it up and it's like, oh, this deck, this deck, this deck. And then once in a blue moon, I'll see a new deck. A very, original deck. But that's very fucking rare. It's always the same 4 or 5 decks. And it's just like, Jesus, people. Magic is supposed to be about creativity, not like brain dead shit. I know that most people will be like, oh, but the pros won it at the tour, yada yada yada. Well, you're fucking lame, and you're boring. Nobody wants to play Magic with those kinds of people. Go to Worlds, and take your sweatiness over there. I don't give a shit about it. You bore me. But for the rest of us who play Magic to have fun, you'll enjoy the deck. But thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I truly appreciate the hell out ya. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.